Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Surrealism. Surrealism is a cultural movement that develops in Europe in the aftermath of World War I. The movement is best known for its visual artworks and writings that sought to channel the unconscious mind as a means to unlock the power of imagination. The Surrealists believed the rational mind repressed the power of the imagination, so they tried to bypass that rational mind. And then you get Surrealism. So, let's talk about it a bit. Surrealist paintings were often landscapes, like this one by Yves Tanguy, depicting fantastic subject matter in meticulously painted images that look believable, like they could be real. That's where the surreal term comes in. He described this work as a remembered dream that haunts the waking consciousness. Tanguy's work usually depicts a more familiar and foreboding landscape than the other surrealists. A big influence on the Surrealists was the work of this guy here, Sigmund Freud. He's an Austrian neurologist who founded the discipline of psychoanalysis. Freud is best known for his theories on the unconscious mind and the mechanism of repression for creating the clinical method of psychoanalysis, for investigating the mind and the subconscious. Here you can see André Breton's quote about how much Freud was important to the Surrealist movement. Of course, Breton was a very influential Surrealist. And of course, as a movement, the Surrealists have a manifesto. They wrote this document, which is a public declaration of their principles and intentions. I pulled this quote that really gets to the heart of the Surrealist goals. "We are still living under the reign of logic, but the logical processes of our time apply only to the solution of problems of secondary interest. The absolute rationalism which remains in fashion allows for the consideration of only those facets narrowly relevant to our experience. Logical conclusions, on the other hand, escape us." See, the Surrealists blamed the horrors of World War on the rational mind and logic, so they turned to the subconscious to find answers. One of the most notable figures of the Surrealist era was Jean Miro. Although he refused to be officially assimilated by the Surrealists, Breton declared Miro as the most surrealist of us all, mostly due to his strong use of automism, or automatic drawing. In automatic drawing, the hand is allowed to move randomly across the paper. In applying chance and accident to mark making, the drawing is to a large extent freed of rational control. Hence, the drawing produced was considered by the Surrealists to be made by the subconscious mind, and was thought to reveal something of the psyche, which would otherwise be repressed. Miro then used his conscious mind to interpret these automatic drawings to make these fantastical images. This painting, Carnival of Harlequin, appears to be an agitated, colorful dance of dreamlike insects with animated toys and trinkets, as if a nursery had sprung to vigorous life. Here's another work by Miro, Catalan Landscape. Catalan is a region in Spain with its own unique language. It's where the Spanish city of Barcelona is, and has produced a lot of well-known artists, including Pablo Picasso, and one of the most famous surrealists, Salvador Dali. Of course, here you can see a picture of Dali. He was a skilled draftsman, best known for the striking and bizarre images in his surrealist work. His painterly skills are often attributed to the influence of Renaissance masters. He was exploring the idea that when the mind is free of all habits, pressures, and rules, it produces images, many of which do not make logical sense. He examined his dreams for imagery in his paintings because, in dreams, the subject accepts the most extreme jumps of space, time, and forms, undisturbed by their rationality. His best-known work, The Persistence of Memory, was completed in 1931. It captures the anxieties and magic of vivid dream imagery. Dali employed extensive symbolism in his work. For instance, the hallmark soft watches that first appeared in The Persistence of Memory suggest Einstein's theory that time is relative and not fixed, therefore time is squishy. The ants are another recurring symbol from a childhood memory of Dali's that regularly appear in his paintings. Dali believed in the paranoia critical method of tapping into the subconscious. This was a method he developed when he saw this image out of the corner of his eye in a magazine and thought it was a face. Do you see the face? How about now? Let me help. There. See, Dali believed ambiguous images were interpreted by the subconscious, and he would play with these ambiguous images as a way to develop ideas in his paintings that he believed were inspired by his subconscious. He would also play with the idea that the same image could be interpreted in multiple ways by the mind. Here you can see Dali playing with two images that are the same and different simultaneously. The egg is another common Dali-esque image. He connects the egg to the prenatal and interuterine, thus using it to symbolize hope and love. In Dali's artwork and life, he attempted to simulate madness as a way to demonstrate the absurdity of worldly existence, to comment mockingly on what passed for reason, and to awaken in others their irrational self. There was one well-known American surrealist, Kay Sage. Sage spent her childhood in Europe and New York and later integrated herself in the Parisian Surrealist Boys Club, where she met her future husband and fellow artist Yves Tanguy in 1939. You remember him, he was the guy we looked at first. Her style features strong architectural forms and precise horizon lines. She routinely exhibited in New York and Europe throughout the 40s and 50s. She tragically began losing her eyesight in the mid-1950s, but went on to write 4 volumes of poetry and the beginnings of a memoir. Two of my personal favorite surrealists are Remedios Varo and Leonora Carrington. They are two well-known surrealists from Spain and England, respectively. Varo and Carrington moved to Mexico to escape the Nazi invasion of Europe, where they became involved in a thriving artistic community with the fellow refugees from their European surrealistic circles. That's what I have for you today. I need you to get into the modules and see the specifics for what you need to do and get yourself to work. And of course, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Take care, everybody.